We welcome you back to another edition of Inside the Doghouse, our baseball season preview. We are joined with first-year head coach Matt LaBranche. Matt, thank you so much for joining me. How are things in your first campaign here at John Jay?
Yeah, things are going well. It's really fun to be back coaching baseball and being hands-on with student athletes. It's been fun to become part of the John Jay family, and the team's been really receptive, and really enjoy working with them to this point.
You come from Eastern Connecticut State. You took a few years off, but now you're dealing with a brand new crop of players. How has the adjustment been for you?
Yeah, it's been smooth. The players, welcome me with open arms, and they've been thirsty for coaching. I think the things that suit me well in terms of player development and creativity and practice, organization and planning, are things that are important qualities to have in our situation, and so I think it's been a great match, and we're getting a little better every day.
Matt, you have Michael Morrow, who is a second-year sophomore who led the team in batting average last year. How has he looked in particular heading into his sophomore season?
Yeah, Mike's been practicing hard. He's not only one of our best players, but he's an emerging leader in the program, and has a level of competitiveness that I definitely is important and is part of a culture that I want to instill. So he's been putting his work in and practicing well, and optimistic that he'll build on last year's success. I think there's a tremendous upside to Mike as a player.
Matt, some Division III schools don't really get to play in minor league ballparks, but for you and for your squad, you get to play at Maimonides Park out in Brooklyn, home of the Single-A Brooklyn Cyclones, and then also down in Trenton Thunder Ballpark, a part of the MLB Draft League. How crucial is that for development, also for recruiting as well?
Yeah, I think it's an exciting feature for the team. I think I have tons of respect for our student athletes, the effort that they put in to come in and get a John Jay education, and what they do to get here, and what they do outside of playing ball in school to stay as to be student athletes at John Jay. So it's a tremendous reward for them to be able to know that while we're digging in the corners and grinding in terms of practice, they have something to really look forward to play in those stadiums.
Yeah.
And absolutely, it's a hook from a recruiting standpoint. Definitely engaging in a national recruiting effort, and to be able to sell Manhattan as your campus, and to be able to sell to student athletes the opportunity to play in professional stadiums. Oftentimes when I contact a prospective student athlete, it's the first thing out of their mouth is like, wow, you get an opportunity to play in a professional stadium. So yeah, they get pretty jazzed about that.
So in a few days, you head down to Davenport, Florida for a few days, and you're playing down there for a week. What are the vibes like ahead of this? Because a lot of these players, this is their first trip down because of COVID, obviously. They haven't been able to experience these southern trips, and now they're finally able to get back to a little bit of normalcy.
Yeah, really excited to take the team to this particular tournament. It's one that I'm super familiar with over 2 different coaching stops. And it's really it's a first-class tournament, good competition, good situation, and the vibes. To your question, the vibes are great. We've been lucky to have some really nice weather. We've been practicing outside. That really helps guys get guys in the spirit of things. And the first game is coming fast, and the guys are fired up. And as you mentioned, it's been a few years since the team has had an opportunity to take a trip. Only our seniors have had a trip previous, and a trip at the beginning of the season like this can be super important to teams, not just to go and practice and play games, but the whole trip becomes a really important team building event.
Yeah, I was going to say chemistry.
Yes, so we're really excited to be able to have that time to spend together, in Florida in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, alongside first-year head coach of baseball, Matt LaBranche, Joey Jarzinka, thank you so much, Matt, for coming on here to Inside the Doghouse, and good luck this season.
Appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, back in a few moments with the next edition of Inside the Doghouse right after this.